great about this. Hello, everyone. We are back. Condo Conversations in my condo in Clifton.
Very nice condo.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm back. This is my first time I've done the Facebook Live Condo Conversation. The last time I did this, I was at Work the Metal or another fashion show. I don't know. Derby season's over. We survived.
Yes, I did.
Do you all know who she is? Because if you don't, you live under a rock. This is
Not that important.
She is. This is Miss Jennifer Hoffman. So Jennifer Hoffman is a friend of mine. And the way I met her was that one day I was in my apartment in Chicago and my brother called me. And he was like, I just met this girl. We were karaokeing and oh my gosh, and Cindy. And I was just like, woo, okay. He is out there living his best life. You know, he was sad because I was gone. So he made new friends. And so I came home.
Yes, it was actually Derby.
It was Derby when I came home.
And it was a huge party. I think it was at
It was the Kim Kardashian Derby Spectacular. I was actually representing for a magazine, an online magazine. I was on the red carpet. I interviewed Kim Kardashian. And then we were in an elevator.
Yes.
And Jennifer was like...
I was kind of attacked.
Glammed out, honey. Hair, makeup, dress. Her and Cindy was looking good. And we were all in the elevator. And I looked over. And I had never seen her before.
Never met Kristen before,
ever. And I was like... I looked over and I was like, ah! Jennifer! Didn't I do that?
She actually did. On the elevator.
On the elevator.
So we were kind of trapped.
With other people.
And that happened.
And it was really super embarrassing.
So look where we are.
And look where we are now. Cheers.
Cheers.
Friends. And God, that was like 8 years ago.
Yes. I was fresh out of college.
Fresh out of college.
No babies, no husband.
No babies, no husband. And that was the first time you had already done the show.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start.
That was, 2008.
Wow. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. You're not even from here.
No. I'm from the town that you so love.
I left the city where you were from.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
From Chicago.
Chi-town, stand up.
I only like summertime Chi, so we're just gonna...
Oh, you don't like wintertime?
No.
Oh, so you were born and raised, high school, Chicago.
Yep.
And then, how did you find Louisville?
I found Louisville, well, okay, so in Chicago, I was an athlete in recruiting and played 3 sports. So I was basketball, volleyball, and track.
I didn't know you ran track.
Oh, yes. I was state champion in the 4x1, the 4x2, the 200, and 3rd place in the high jump because, yes, that's what I do.
Legs.
That's what I do.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Good God. Okay.
So I was trying to figure out, like, college career, and my sister had actually transferred to the University of Louisville from Western Illinois.
Really?
Yes.
So she was here first.
She was here first.
Oh, I did not know that.
And she came, and I really loved the small city.
Yeah.
But it was far enough away from Chicago where I could kind of make my own name.
Yeah.
Because my sister played basketball. So I came here recruited by the volleyball team.
Oh.
And I said, you know what? I wasn't being recruited by volleyball. I was being recruited mostly from basketball and track. And I said, you know what? Why not give it a try? I think that's how I live my life now. Is you got to try everything once. So I gave it a try, and I just couldn't leave.
And you've been here ever since.
I've been here ever since.
And you love it.
Yes, I love it. I've moved to New York, still came back.
What you do in New York?
I moved away in Spain, still came back.
But you traveled for volleyball.
Yes, I traveled for volleyball. I was a professional volleyball player, so I lived in Spain for a year. Still brought me back here to Louisville.
So what's so funny about her saying that she's a professional volleyball player is that when she went away to do the show, the first time, she was friends with my brother. I didn't know her, remember? And my brother was like, she's going to go and play volleyball internationally. And I was like, there's a volleyball thing that travels, and it does.
Yes.
But she couldn't say anything.
I couldn't say it. So that was my MO. That was my super duper cover.
Volleyball.
Yes. So because they have these contracts laid out with CBS where you have to sign away your life. You can't say, like, even if you win, you can't say until the last episode airs. So when all of that was happening, and I was just like, you know what? I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no boyfriend. I'm going to go live my life. And so
Can you imagine?
I went and I traveled for the first time. I went and traveled 40,000 miles around the world.
Wait, during the show or after the show?
During the show, it allowed me to travel 40,000 miles, 5 different countries.
Okay.
The Amazing Race was simply
amazing.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
so you were volleyball playing, then you graduated from Louisville.
Yep. I graduated from Louisville.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated officially 2006.
Okay.
And then I played overseas for 1 year.
Okay.
So I left immediately after school.
Okay.
And I came back 2007.
Okay.
And, I was still in my 20s. You do.
Out there doing
You make
it.
a lot of mistakes in your 20s. You try to figure out life in your 20s.
And in your 30s.
Yeah. But you do your best. You do your best work in your 20s.
You know more when you're
You know more.
Yeah.
You know more.
Thank God
right
for
now
your
in the
20s.
30s, I mean,
You got
life
it together.
Is
Life is good.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you even find out about the show? Were you already a fan of the show?
I was.
Okay.
And you know what? This is why I love Louisville.
Okay.
Because everything,
The land of opportunity.
everything essentially comes back around to Derby. It literally does.
That's
I met
true.
you,
That-
Derby. Okay. I got asked by a talent scout for CBS.
Really?
Yes.
At a derby party.
At a Derby party.
And what party was this?
I was kind of mean to her, and she will remember. Erica, you will always remember this because I was kind of mean to you. Yeah.
See, and
Yeah.
that's a good reason to go to these parties because you never know who you're going to run into.
You never know who you're gonna run into. You have to be authentic, though.
Yeah.
And that's where she loved the fact that I didn't care
You
who
probably
she
gave
was.
her a look
I
like,
didn't care who she
please,
was.
up out my face, girl.
Yeah, basically, because my reflexes are visual and verbal. So yeah.
You were a fan of the show. You got recruited to be on the show.
Yep.
What was the next step to get on the show?
Oh my goodness. So they sequester you. So I filled out the application.
Uh-huh.
I send in a 3-minute video.
Okay.
It is really hard to talk about yourself in 3 minutes, given your age, your name, where you're from. Like that in and of itself takes a minute and a half. So you have to send in the video, and there's no personality that comes out in 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Especially just doing it by yourself. Like
Yeah.
you're literally sitting there talking to a camera, like, really, what? No, this isn't happening. So I sent all of that in, and you know what? I got called actually to do Survivor.
What?
Yes. Not everybody
I've
knows
always
this.
wanted to do Survivor
Yes.
so I could lose weight.
But see, I couldn't swim at the time.
Oh, I remember that was one of the issues on the show.
Well, like Survivor, you're surrounded by a body of water, so
Because they just
it's
plop
just
you
not-
down. isn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. So that wasn't gonna work out for me. So the producer, we were in sequester, and how these things are arranged is that they fly you to California. You go into this big hotel. You have to have this alias because nobody can know what's happening. So
gosh.
it's very kind of like James Bond, kind of very secretive, right?
Oh,
And so I went there, and my family didn't know where I was. Nobody knew where I was because that is
Karen
how,
would have called 1,000 times.
Yeah, no, but you can play it off if you
probably.
have an understanding of what's happening and the potential of what could happen. You're
You
not
make it work.
You're not gonna risk it.
Right.
You're not gonna risk it.
Right.
So I went to California, and then they was like, have you ever watched The Amazing Race? I was like, oh my God, I love The Amazing Race. Like, love it. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking, quick wit. And they're like, well, who would you do it with? And I was like, oh my God, who would I do it with? I don't have a boyfriend. All my friends, they were in their lives. And I was like, I'm just the one that's moving through life like a bobblehead. Like, what's happening here? And so I called my sister.
Aww.
And I said, Keisha, I know you think I'm already crazy. But
Because she's your older sister.
she's my older sister
Yes.
by 4 years. So
Oh, wow. I didn't know
yes.
she was that much
So
older than you.
she was living in the Bronx at the time. She was living in New York at the time. And my sister, psychology major, juvenile justice, like
she's
all
on a
she
career
watch-
path.
All she watches is Law and Order. Okay?
It's a good show.
And so she doesn't watch the reality
Right.
show. She
Right.
doesn't, you know,
Right.
she doesn't watch any of that. So I was like, okay, you're already gonna think I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this opportunity, and I'm in California right now, and she just like flipped out. And I was like, well, you gotta listen. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna fly you out. Don't ask questions. Someone's gonna call you. in about 20 minutes and make sure that you have arrangements to come out to California and meet with the producers of this reality show that I am here to audition us for.
Yes.
So she was all on board, and I was like, yep, this is where we're getting it. This is where we're getting it. So she came out.
So she had to leave her career to do this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like,
Oh
literally, it was a 3-day whirlwind where she kept asking me, what have you gotten me into? Like, what have you gotten me into?
Could she swim?
Yes.
But you guys were both athletes, so it was kind of...
Yes. It was one of those things, like, people think that if you say you can't swim, then you just gonna drown. That's not the case for me.
I mean,
I can swim for survival, but I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where if it's just for fun and there's no life jackets involved, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. So, then there we have it.
So you did the show the first time.
Yep.
And then you got kicked off.
Yeah.
But you made your staple.
And I think, and it was because, are you talking about the potty break?
No, not even that. When you called the boy the B word.
Oh, you know what?
I was so into that. I was like, oh.
But you know what? And
I mean, he
Luke,
probably deserved it.
Luke.
Sorry, Luke.
Great guy. Great person. Him and his mother are great people.
Wasn't she a teacher?
No, I don't think so.
She was cute, though.
I don't think so.
I'll never forget
but,
that.
I mean, she was a bionic woman. Like, she was tough.
But you were
strong.
competing, so...
But we were competing.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, if you're fans of the show, you really only see what's on television.
Yeah.
You know?
There's
so
so much
you don't,
more
there's so much more behind the scenes. And I mean, we profusely apologize. There were some things said on their part. They apologized for them. Great people.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, emotions were high. And I think it zeroed in on the fact that he had a disability.
Right.
And
he was deaf.
and it was unfortunate because if he were of the hearing world,
that it wouldn't have been
that big of a deal. So that's
so
where.
You leave the show.
Yep.
After you left the show, what'd you do?
After I left the show, still in my 20s.
The first time.
Still in my 20s, trying to figure out life.
You were doing volleyball.
Yep, doing volleyball.
Okay.
So the show aired in 2009.
Okay.
And so I figured out that there is a passion in me for coaching, for I guess distributing leadership is what I call it. So finding leaders and understanding people.
Okay.
And so I went into the coaching field.
At U of L?
At U of L.
For volleyball?
Yep, for volleyball. Okay. So I was always in the area of volleyball. I was a coach for 15.
Is that, out of all the sports, is that your passion? The biggest passion?
I think I have a passion for coaching.
Yeah.
It's not
so you could have
particularly
you could have coached track, you could have coached
I could be a life coach.
You could be a life coach.
I could be a life coach.
That would be a tough love life coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, people probably need these things.
But I think the idea of coaching is not necessarily telling someone what to do.
Yeah.
It's figuring out what works best for them. Where they are in their life, whether it be a 16-year-old where they have so many other things going on at school and family and parents. I think coaching, and I think that's why you see a lot of these things transitioning into life coaches and people who, and it's not just that, I'm a friend of yours. Like, those people sometimes need friends outside of their circle to kind of have an unbiased opinion about what's happening and what they can do. Just another opinion. So I think that my passion lies in coaching and really genuinely helping people, whether it be that tough love that, Christy, I have. I have it. But I think that my passion is, and then just transitioning that into volleyball, the sport that I love, it's really simple. It's really easy.
Okay, so then you're coaching volleyball at U of L. Yep.
I went from the Bronx, Fordham University, and then U of L brought me back. So that was 2009.
So then how in the world did you get put back on the show the second time on Amazing Race?
You know what? I think it was my sister. So in the first season, there was a situation where we're coming and we can't swim, right?
Right.
And it was sleep deprivation. See, you all have to understand. Let me put my cup down because I'm about to explain some things to you all. what you have to understand is that it's 30 days of nonstop travel.
Uh-huh.
Sleep deprivation, you're hungry, emotions are high, you're competing, adrenaline.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, humans have limits.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know that everybody knows their limits.
Ooh.
I know my limits. I'm very self-aware of my limits. And so I think that at that point, I reached my limit. And the patience of my sister.
For the competition.
For the competition,
Oh.
for everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I reached my limit.
Yeah.
The idea of, like, when you can't get away from a fear, it's very difficult. So you have to power through the idea of your fear.
Yeah.
So facing it, I faced it. I mean, I jumped off of a diving board in an Olympic swimming pool, not being an Olympic swimmer, not even having the ability to really understand that, you know what, I can swim if I need to survive.
Right.
And this isn't an area where I need to survive.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that mentality
Absolutely.
didn't switch for me.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a mode of survival. I wasn't in survival mode at
Gotcha.
that time. So my mentality didn't switch.
Okay.
So it was still the idea that, you know what, I can't swim because my life isn't in danger. Because people in the background didn't know that I always told my sister whenever we were jumping off of the diving board, they're not going to let me die on TV.
Or will they?
I mean, you have to look at it as that they're not going to let me die.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
my mentality didn't switch to survival mode.
Yeah.
And so it was the patience of my sister that I think brought us back.
Really?
She was so in any given situation when all of those factors are played in, you again, sleep deprivation, you're a little bit hungry, emotions are high, you're competing.
Yeah.
In that moment, you have seen, if you're a fan of the show, you have seen so many people buckle.
Yeah.
And my sister was so strong and so patient.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of endeared us to a lot lot of the fans. Because we were no drama.
So you were a fan favorite.
We were a
so
fan favorite.
People were like, bring them back.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
Unbeknownst to us.
So you came back the second time.
Came back.
And what year was that?
That was 2011.
So you were only out of the show for a few years.
Maybe a year. Yeah, because
you
you
had to
filmed
tape
it in
it.
2008. It airs 2009 over a span of maybe 3 months. And then you go back. And so I actually went back and taped November of 2010. And this is when I was at the University of Louisville for the assistant volleyball coach. So literally thinking that was my career path.
Yeah.
Being a coach
Yeah.
and at the university. And then it just flipped. And I think that everything happens for a reason because there was a lot of turmoil that was going on around.
Yeah.
And again, I live my life like a fart in the wind. So, you know what? I'll do anything. So.
I can't.
Hey.
I can't with her. Okay, so you went back on the show.
I did.
And 2011.
Yes.
And then you came back home.
Yes.
And
I had to keep a big secret. I had to keep a really, really
I mean,
big
she came
secret.
by and picked me up and we went out.
Yeah.
We went to
like
the-
nothing ever happened. And
I'm like,
people
welcome back, girl.
like,
Stupid.
hey, like, why haven't you been answering my phone calls?
Stupid.
And it's like, it's one of those things too that I didn't lose friends.
No, we just were like going with our lives, but she's doing her thing. It didn't even.
Yeah, so it really
Okay.
does. It's like you cannot talk to somebody for a month and you just pick up right where you left off. You're like, hey girl, let's go out.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
Let's go have dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, you won.
I did. That is a really big secret. That is a really big secret I had to keep.
I don't even know what I would be able to
months.
do. I mean, first of all, I have a big mouth. Number one. And for number two, I mean, that it's so crazy. I watched it. She had said watch it, and I was like, sure. Oh, she was in Miami when you're on a beach somewhere. I think you were in Miami or somewhere with a beach.
Yep.
And
It was an anniversary year for the Amazing Race.
and I was just sitting there. I think I just got out of the shower and I was in my robe and I was watching you on TV and I was like, blah, blah, it's the last episode. What's going to happen between you and your sister riding this bike across this thing?
And I remember Mark texted me. He was like, you gonna mess around and win, ain't you? And I was like, just keep watching.
And I was watching it, and I was like, I keep watching it. I'm still haven't changed clothes yet. I'm still in my robe, and my eyes swelled up with tears, and I said, she is about to win. I'm texting her like, I hate you. I hate you. I can't stand
I got a lot of those
you.
texts.
I hate you. I can't stand you.
I got a lot of those texts.
And then I was just
but
like,
ain't nobody messing with my money.
Say, can I, of course, huh? Did we win or did we win?
Yes.
What was your, after you won, all the things were said and done, what was like that moment like to know that you had won the money, you'd done this big thing, you're about to get thrown into this press junket, like what was that like?
Oh, it was a huge press junket. And you know what? The one thing...
Regis and Kelly.
And you know what? Side note and a big old side eye. Because they played, hey, soul sister, come.
You know, Regis and Kelly. Anyway, we're not even going to get into all that.
Hi, Stephanie.
So you did the press junket. How long did that whole process last?
That whole process, I mean, it immediately after the final show had aired, there were places in Australia, there were places in China where we were just on the phone interviewing round after round after round, in conjunction with going to Regis and Kelly, doing the Today Show, doing a lot of
the
stuff.
Today Show, did you meet Matt Lauer?
No, I didn't.
Oh, because you know I was about to say,
girl bye.
Me too. Time's up. I was ready.
No.
Okay, so you did all that stuff, and then once the dust settles, you got your coins. What do you do then?
Breathe.
You breathe.
You breathe.
So what was your best purchase? What was your favorite purchase or something that you just had to have that you've always wanted that you finally purchased?
You know, and it's so funny because my best friend Jennifer, she was one of the people that said, girl, go buy you something, because people know I'm frugal. Jennifer, Cindy, y'all know I'm frugal. And no, you know what? I'm efficient with my money.
That's a better word.
You know what? I'm not.
You're aware.
I'm aware
of your funds.
I'm not a spendthrift. So there was just something that I wanted. I'm not a big purse person. Sorry.
I would have went. I can't even. Jesus help me.
But the first thing that I bought was a Louis Vuitton bag.
It sure was.
Yeah, it sure was.
She was cute too.
I still have her, and she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
She is so me.
Yeah,
it's a hobo satchel.
Yep.
And
you stayed in your fashion lane. You really did.
It's like it's a denim material.
And she's
so
cute.
Me.
Yeah.
Because it's a little monogram.
It fits
it's a
your
subtle
body.
monogram.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I can just throw it on one strap, and it's so easy, and it carries a lot.
It does.
It carries a lot. I'm not a speedy girl.
No, no comment. So now, you won the money. You made your purchase.
Yep.
Dust is settling.
Yep.
What's your next move?
My next move.
Make your next move your best move.
Was to actually figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because
you never once thought of like parlaying this moment into a career. Like you never thought like, let me just hop on another show and let me just
never
none of that.
Because it's not me.
Yeah.
I don't do the TV hop. I really try to just live and embrace just anything that comes my way. Again, that's what I said. I live life to this day where if anything comes, I'll say yes. Probably say yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Even now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even now with the husband and the kids. Would it be easier now because you have the husband and the kids?
I think it would be a little bit different in the reason why.
Okay.
There has to be a reason why.
Yeah.
You know? Beforehand, there wasn't any reason why. It was just
now
me.
your support system has just gotten bigger.
My support system has gotten, my village has gotten a little bit bigger.
And stabler. If that's a word.
Yeah.
More stable.
A little bit more stable. More stable. That's it. That's it.
I have a degree. So, you needed to find a job.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I breathed a little bit, not necessarily oh, I need to find a job. Oh, now because people knew who I was.
Yeah.
Because of
so
the
they
show.
came calling you.
So it was actually a little bit more difficult to find a job.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
And it's one of those things where Louisville knows the show.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Louisville was a place where I met a lot. I've had a lot of good things come from the show.
Yeah.
But it's not always about money for me.
Right.
Like
yeah.
for the jobs that I would go and I take, like my degree is in marketing and I'm a marketing consultant, but it's because I get to pick and choose the nonprofits that I want to work with.
Yeah.
I get to pick and choose the people that I want to.
Let's give a quick shout out to those charities that you represent. Go ahead.
Blessings in a Backpack is a really good one. I love their mission.
Yeah.
Because this day and age, you don't find a lot of people willing to just go that extra mile for our youth.
Yeah. Which is so important.
And it's so important because on the West End, there's a lot of food deserts where, you know, they are needed in the West End. And I think that Blessings in a Backpack and Fun for the Arts is another really, really good one because people are starting to realize how big the arts are, especially in our community, especially in the Black community. It is a huge way to express ourselves.
We're so creative.
Yes, it is a huge way to express ourselves. And I think that just bringing in the arts, whether it be the LCCC, the Louisville Central Community Center, where they're fully funded by donations and by people in the community, but you go and you see these kids do amazing productions. Yeah. And it's all done by kids, whether it be on set, the design of the set, the costumes, and you don't know that until you kind of branch outside of yourself and think, okay, what exactly does Fun for the Arts do? Yeah. You know, you see the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation where she is, facilitating a lot of participation in the arts, but you know what? What exactly are these foundations and these organizations really helping? Yeah. And you go and you dive a little bit into the not so well known. Yeah. You see some beautiful things.
Well, that's fabulous. Okay, so what did you do? What was your first feet on the ground? I'm going to work. What was the first thing you did after the show ended?
I went back to volleyball.
Okay.
I mean, I just
go with what you know.
Go with what you know.
Something that you love.
But the interesting thing is I transitioned that to being on television.
Oh, I knew that. So what did you do? Who were you working for?
I currently work for Disney, which pretty much basically owns the world.
It really does.
Yeah, most people don't know that Disney owns a lot of things.
Everything. They have a huge umbrella.
Including ESPN. So
ESPN.
That's my current.
So now you are commentating, and you love it. And
I do.
So what you doing the commentating, and you're still coaching.
Yes, I have, and that's the thing. I have the opportunity to choose what direction I want to go in life. Okay, so let's just say the show never happened. Do you still feel like you would have the option to choose what you want to do in life? That's a good question, and no.
Yeah? No. But do you think you could have mentally?
Mentally, yes. I'm a hustler by nature. I'm an Aquarius. I can't stop.
Water sign.
Stop. I just keep going. I'm very creative. Yeah. So I would find ways to kind of filter that out. Because, I mean, people don't figure their lives out.
Say that. I mean, I'm still trying to work that out. So now,
I was just fortunate enough to have a little cushion. Yeah. To be able to figure it out.
Yeah. So you still have cushion. So you got married somewhere along the lines there, and talk about that. So you
let me tell.
But first tell everybody how you met your very attractive husband.
I met my Ryan.
Right.
I met my Ryan just through mutual friends. Just through mutual friends. But I had a real sit down with myself.
Amen.
And I was going through where it's like, why aren't these relationships working? What's going on? Like, is it me? Is it them? Like, what is it not happening?
And what did you discover?
I discovered that I was looking for something that I ultimately just didn't want.
Ain't that funny?
I was just looking for something I didn't want.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted it because it sounded good.
Yeah.
And it looked good.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't what was for you.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't long lasting. So,
Yeah.
you know how you can go through something and it's enjoyable at the time, but it's not sustainable. No.
Man. Okay, so met Ryan through mutual friends.
Through mutual friends.
You guys met. Did you instantly like him?
I instantly thought he was attractive.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can see that. I mean,
yeah. But the one thing that attracted me to Ryan, and he still does this to this day, he opens a door for me.
oh,
He rushes to open a door for me.
that is hard for me to accept.
Why?
I don't know. I'm a very, I don't know. It's a long story. It's not about me today. Like, it's not about me today. We're not about to get into all this. But, yeah, no. Yeah, that's very interesting. He rushes. I don't know.
We'll get into that life coaching.
Right. That's on another show for another day. So, let's talk about your wedding.
Yes.
First,
You were there. How was it? I had fun.
Where was it?
It was at the Muhammad Ali Center.
And it was beautiful.
And it was at the Muhammad Ali Center because my family from Chicago would be traveling. And Ryan and I thought that is something that is culturally significant to the city of Louisville.
Amen.
And
Amen.
it was, you go through all these wedding venues. They try to really get you. They try to grab your money.
Especially your money.
It's a money grab, okay? But they don't know me. They did not know me, and I was ready for them. So if anybody is planning a wedding, I can get you what you want.
See. But
Petty
no,
Betty.
Petty mayonnaise.
Petty
So your wedding was just beautiful. The scenery was beautiful.
Thank you.
At this time you had your sweet baby girl.
Yes, and baby girl was very sick.
And she was so little then.
Yeah, she was one. She was one. Yes. She was 1 in a month because we got married the 21st night of September.
She did. So, you know what's so funny about her? At first I was like, she won't let me bring a date because I invited someone that I was like really into and I don't even know why. So, check that one. Check that. And so I told her, because I learned about it after when I got married. So she's like, you can't bring a +1. And I should have read on the invitation. It did not say a +1. But in my mind, probably watching way too many shows on TV, it was like, I'll get to bring a date and it'll be magical and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no +1. And I was like, psh. So then years later, I got married and I realized how expensive it was. And then I started doing the same thing. And someone actually wrote me back on one of my invitations, +4.
So when you don't leave, this is the caveat to that.
That's true.
Even when you don't leave, when you leave that door open, people have a certain expectation.
They do.
That does not match.
They do.
Yours.
That is true.
So you have to limit expectations. I try to live where I don't expect anything from anybody. I tell them what they want, or I tell them what I want, and if it doesn't align, then we need to come to some type of mutual understanding.
I just feel like you're always going to be somebody who gets what she wants.
Really?
I do.
I love that.
I do.
I love that.
I mean, by any means necessary. And I feel like a lot of people can learn from that because now there's a lot of women our age who are not getting what they need because they don't either feel like they deserve it or they don't know that they can achieve it because of society, their own mental blocks.
I think it's
a lot, and a lot of them are mothers, and they can still get whatever they want, but for some reason in their mind they're like, my kids come first, and I can't put me first. And I think that it's important for women to know that you're still a person. You still have needs, wants, desires, and you have, a lot of y'all have husbands, boyfriends, partners, and those sweet babies will be all right.
They will.
But if you're not mentally right, the situation won't be right. So if you're sitting there with your boo and you can't even have a conversation with him, you might want to check that one off Oh, yeah, I have a
and
husband.
see, that goes back to before I met Ryan. Right?
See, it's all about those mental checks.
That mind, you really have to check yourself.
You do, absolutely.
And because if the same thing continues to happen, it's
Insanity.
not the people that you're dealing with. You know what? It might be 50-50.
Yeah.
It might be some percentage of those people
Yeah.
where you're encountering, where you're not meeting the right person in the right place.
Right.
Or, you're thinking, as society has directed a lot of us, is that where are you going to meet your mate?
Where are you going to meet your mate?
And now it's unconventional.
Right.
Right. People are meeting online. People are meeting through a lot of apps.
People are meeting in salsa clubs.
It's unconventional that you don't have this expectation.
And again, going back to that, not having those expectations and just really living and not feeling like you have to meet this ideal society standard.
Yep.
And that's an issue. And I see this so much, and I sit back and I just watch people and I hear them, and I'm like, ooh, girl, when are you going to start living your life? Like, and it's exhausting, and eventually you break.
I was just about to say, it's exhausting.
You eventually
to
break.
literally hear someone describe their life or their desires, knowing that the way that they're living their life does not match up.
Right.
Like, if you live your life a certain way and you have expectations, then the way you're living your life now, you're never gonna get there.
And not only that, but it catches up to you. And it may not catch up to you now, but so I used to work in retail on just a regular level, a management level. I call it regular level. But I would have these women come in when I worked in the East End of Louisville, and these women would be like, don't have kids, don't have kids, don't have kids. My kids drive me crazy. I had a woman tell me once that she got so messed up at her wedding and she was like 5 or 6 months pregnant. And you would never look at her and be like, oh my God. She looked like a regular chick, but like these people are in misery. And they are just, and it was so sad. So all my, like a good portion of my life, I kept hearing this message of don't have kids, don't have kids, don't have kids.
Yeah.
And now I'm old and I don't have kids. But I was like, oh, it's because, that message that I was getting. But the real story was that these women weren't in control of their lives.
Yes.
They weren't in control of what they wanted, and they weren't putting those boots on the ground for that. And so now I know.
Yep. You gotta wake up for you, not for anybody else.
You gotta wake up.
You gotta wake up, and you gotta show up for you.
Yeah, you can't live your life for anybody else.
That's why people still call me aloof, because I don't live my life for anybody else but me.
Yeah.
And it's me. It's me and my husband.
You and your husband.
It's me and my kids.
Yeah.
And then it's me and my family. But what's the center around that? Me.
And that'll always be.
And that's not a selfish thing, because it's like, if you got to take care of you first, you got to love you. You have to understand you to know your limits.
No, it's very true. You know what?
And it's so
funny
true.
because
and people think that that's selfish, but
and people
it's
think
not.
that they think it's selfish and they think it's mean. But when you really examine the root of that situation,
it's not at all.
It really is about you.
Yes,
but it has to
be healthy.
You have to be healthy,
because my husband's life is about him.
Yeah.
Him and me, him and our kids, him and his family.
And don't you find that if people who have these issues and they don't solve their personal issues, when they get into these relationships, they bring all that baggage with them, and then that creates the conflict in a relationship. Yeah. And that's why me and my husband, we take the time out to be like, okay, so what's your issue? And it's like, oh, I have this from when I was a kid, and I'm taking it out on you, and I'm so sorry. But you have to have those honest conversations.
Yes.
Because it's not about that person that you're with.
Yep.
It's literally about you.
Yep.
And how you process it.
Yep. And in any disagreement that my husband and I would have, we always come back and we say, how can I help you? Like, literally, how can I help you?
Man.
Yeah.
And that's how you create a good relationship.
It is.
I mean, because I feel like, how old were you when you got with your man?
28.
So you were a little bit
27.
Older, but like you were still kind of going through things, but you were starting to discover exactly.
But
what
I'm gonna tell
wanted.
you what, he was in his 30s, and that's a big.
Is he from here?
He's from Owensboro.
Oh,
but he's in his 30s, so that's a big.
Maturity is really key.
It is for men. It is.
It really.
Because men are one-dimensional. Men. I shouldn't say that they're one-dimensional. They're a little bit less complex than women.
That is true.
And so
some of them are.
Yeah. So the woman is a tree, just like the man is a tree, but the woman has many branches.
How many branches do men have?
Oh, maybe 2. Maybe 2. And that
Is
extends
it
to the arms. That extends to the arms. Where can they put their hands? They got a certain radius.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Speaking of this, and this is the perfect segue to this topic. Being from Chicago, you got 2 people right now in pop culture that are really making...
Girl, bye.
Oh.
Girl, bye. Can we talk about my
Step to the
kids?
Left, step to the right,
Can we...
spin around and break it
and
down.
And you know what? You would not believe that my husband and I, our first date, well, I should say our second date, was an R. Kelly concert.
Oh.
Step in the name of love. But he gonna be stepping into a jury room.
You step into a jail cell. Anyway, let's say you have another.
Oh, good God! No. Oh.
You have 2 kids.
Yes, I got
2 babies. Hi, Mark. 2 babies. Who are very active on social media.
They are. They are. And
does
you know
Ryan
what?
still do his Friday?
He absolutely does. And I do Mondays with Logan.
So if you guys do not follow them on social media, I really ask you to, because their kids are so hilarious. Don't you feel like you allow your kids to be themselves?
I do.
But at what point do you limit that?
You don't.
Never.
You don't. No, I don't think that I will ever. No. And only because you can't stifle creativity.
Yeah.
Because you have to allow your children, you have to allow people to be who they are, naturally, authentically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on any given day in our house, you can probably catch my son in an Elsa dress. But he will...
Oh, from that movie?
He will... Oh, my daughter, who is the oldest.
Uh-huh.
So, by default, he's been dressed up since he was
and he doesn't even have a say in the situation. She's just probably put it on.
But when they play together, it's one of those things where he'll tell you, he's like, "Mommy, this is just pretend." Like, my 3-year-old is extremely articulate.
Mommy,
extremely
this is
articulate.
Just pretend.
And yeah. And I don't even think that it's because they're my kids. I think they're genuinely just really funny.
They are very funny.
Really funny people.
So what do you think their futures are going to be like? Like, what can you imagine them doing?
Oh, Nyla's going to be a boss. She's going to be a boss. She has my competitive spirit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, does she play any sports now?
No. No.
Does she have an interest in it?
Yeah. Yeah, she does. But she does it for fun.
Yeah.
Like me being a coach, and me coaching 15s and seeing the deterioration of even a young girl's body. I'm not inclined to start her at an early age to be that hard on her body.
Yeah, because it's rough.
But it takes away from the fun of it.
I feel like even like now, when I was growing up, it started to get a little bit more competitive. But now
it's a business.
I'm like, what do y'all? Why the cost of things now? Like to get into dance classes,
egregious,
and the makeup tutorials for a dance competition. No, my mom would have been like, she used to put my hair in one braid and put some red lipstick on and some blush, and she would send me to Simmons, and I would 5, 6, 7, 8. But there's none of this.
It's a lot.
Lashes?
It's a lot.
I asked
I'm
why.
not ready. And
Nyla
has her own little makeup bag.
How old is she?
She's 5. But she has her own little makeup bag, and she comes in.
Such a good year.
But she sees mommy do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
And I said, "Who are you doing that for?" She's like, "I'm doing it for me." And I'm okay with it.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm okay with it. You can do that for you. So she wakes up, and she's like, "We can't have this in school," but I just felt like putting on some lipstick. And I was like, when you put on that lipstick, you look good in it too, girl.
So do you feel like the way that you've been living your life, your kids can look at you and be like, mommy's doing it right? Or mommy's a good role model?
I think it comes with understanding.
Yeah.
I think it comes with that level of maturity, because I didn't know all the sacrifices that my mom made until I was a mother.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come until a little bit later on in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not one of those, you have a choice. But I chose parenthood. I chose to be a mom. But I chose to raise adults in a world of chaos.
Do you think about that now? Like, you see
Absolutely.
things that happen on
All the
TV
time.
and you're like,
all the time.
please, Jesus, Lord, help my kids.
All the time. If I had
It's
the patience
scary.
to homeschool, I would do it.
I was going to ask you that.
I would do it if I had the patience, but I ain't got it.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I was
got
like,
it.
man, I wonder if Jennifer's going to homeschool
No,
because
no,
I would.
No.
Especially after
But
this
you better
week.
believe I'll be in JCPS, Jennifer Hoffman.
God, watch your kids. I mean, the thing that happened just this week, was it 9 or 10 kids that got killed?
10 in Texas.
Jesus. Oh, every time I see that, it's like my biological clock is like, snooze.
Yeah, but you can't live your life in fear.
I don't,
can't.
but, I mean, I can't, but, I mean, that definitely puts a little,
Yeah.
a
It's
pause
a little jarring.
on things. It is. Yeah. So, getting back to Kanye. Why? You know what?
I like Louis Vuitton backpack Kanye. Okay.
Louis Vuitton Don.
I like Louis Vuitton Don.
Do you think that if your husband was acting out the way that Kanye West is acting out, how would you react?
Oh, he'd be in a straitjacket so fast.
Do you really think that he's crazy?
I think no, because labeling people crazy doesn't give them a chance to explain themselves. 'Cause you
Okay.
automatically-
So do you think that he has a mental illness?
See, you know what? Those are trigger words that are just floating around nowadays.
Okay.
Because now it's a big mental health issue.
But you know what? You know why I think that is? It's
Why?
because
Please
when
tell me
my
when that
when
whole
my
thing happened.
well, my culture, when my parents were growing up, and they were dealing with things, and they didn't know how to deal with things, and they would just suppress.
I think that's the black culture.
Well,
Or
I mean,
they-
they're my parents, so they're black.
Yeah, but no, I think universally the black culture hasn't had that type of ability to seek help.
And that's because they
So
faced
we
a
kept
lot.
it amongst ourselves.
Well, you never let people see crazy. You
It's
know
the
how
R.
we
Kelly
are.
syndrome.
We keep it locked
all,
up.
We keep it all in ourselves, in our little bubble.
You would never know what's going on inside of our household.
Yeah. No.
Not in these
No.
walls.
No. Because if we don't feel like you would be helpful,
Yeah.
then we're going to keep our secrets to ourselves.
Absolutely.
We're going to try to handle it within ourselves. That's why there is a lot of issues even within the black community.
Oh my God,
that
yes.
are starting to pop up with this, economic climate that's happening. And there's a lot of issues that I don't think that our culture is really discovering. Until
No,
now.
I was going to say, we're discovering it now.
It's popping up.
But you got to
freedom.
imagine it. You got to imagine. So, when you were growing up and you had your uncles and your great uncles, and they always would talk about, homosexual issues in a very negative way, but half of them were gay. So it was like, what are you talking about? Because, you and such. So there's a lot of suppression that we've been going through. A lot of that is because of religious things, which is not feeding our souls and our spirits. So a lot of the issues are coming out now, and we're discovering that the root of all that is, first of all, the cycle that our families have been going through, and now
People
the
don't
idea.
know. Like even something so like R. Kelly is a complex.
Ooh, but I bet
situation.
his mom and dad and family members are.
But let's think about this, because I knew R. Kelly's family.
Okay.
Okay. Why is he named the Pied Piper?
I don't wanna. Because Aaliyah was fifth. What's the Pied Piper thing? He would take all the kids, round them up, and do stuff.
Google Pied Piper, please.
I don't wanna.
But seriously,
I know.
So
I agree.
That
I
was
agree.
something that was put into a light that was semi-positive. And
But
it's
but
like,
you gotta
wait a
remember
minute, why you calling yourself
also.
the Pied Piper?
That's
Like,
gross.
do you know
But
the
there's a
Pied
lot of
Piper?
things also where in the black community, and probably a lot of communities, where the man had the ability to do whatever he wanted. I mean, we can talk about some things offline that were acceptable that are not really acceptable now. Thank God for the Me Too movement, and all these women are starting to come out. I mean, Bill Cosby and Charlie Rose and everybody else, and
There are a lot of things that we can talk about offline.
anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. So,
But going back, I
Yeah.
don't think Kanye is crazy. I don't even think that Kanye is misunderstood. I think that there is truly a Kardashian curse.
If you could meet Kim Kardashian, what advice?
I met Kim Kardashian and she came to my insane.
Okay, so what? Not Kim Kardashian years ago, but if you met her right now in the climate of their celebrity, what would you say to her if she was like, "Yeah, Jen, you know, me and Kanye are going through some things," and she would say, "You and your husband are doing so great. How do you all keep a successful relationship? What advice would you give? Oh, Kimberly Noel Kardashian West,
Well,
Jr.
I would. Okay, and this is not.
And then I'll ask you about Khloe and Tristan.
This is not me being petty, and this is not me.
So you
trying to be funny.
See,
Okay.
You're setting it up.
Okay.
Look, is this a volleyball moment? She's setting it up.
Tea time.
Oh God.
I would tell her to extract everything fake from her body. And what?
Go
I
ahead.
really would. I would tell her there is so many things that she's a culture vulture, and there are so many things about just Kim. We just talking about Kim.
Just Kim.
Okay, that over time she has transitioned and been formed into a person that is really not authentic.
Do you think that? And I don't know. I mean, if you don't want to answer this question, that's fine.
And it started with the sex tape.
I used to be
Actually,
such a fan.
It started with OJ, but
I used to be such a fan of hers, and I would defend that point of the sex tape and say, but it's actually her father being in that lifestyle, and so they were involved with a lot of different people.
Her father, if my understanding of their history and Robert Kardashian, he was simply a lawyer.
He was a celebrity lawyer, he was like a music producer.
Okay, so
which is weird.
That is not.
But it was where they lived, and it was the people that they ran with.
But that's like, especially in California, that's not something that's not heard of. That's a normal life.
Yeah, but do you think that having that much money is a?
I think the OJ trial, really solidified their presence.
Oh, absolutely.
Their name, okay?
Yeah.
And if you can see Robert Kardashian's face in that trial,
I know it's uncomfortable.
It's really, really uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
It is super uncomfortable.
I feel like he was a good man. I didn't know him, but he seemed like a very sweet man.
I'm sure he was.
But then he
so
had
was Bruce
culture
Jenner.
vulture children.
So was Bruce Jenner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't feel like Bruce Jenner was a good man, though. I mean, he even on
oh,
the show.
You saw the demise of Bruce Jenner.
But I didn't see like a good side of him
because he wasn't allowed
to be himself.
And
he probably could have.
He probably could have many years ago. But that is the self-examination that people need to go through. So the first thing I would tell Kim is to kind of step away from all of the celebrity, because once you got a hook, you gotta keep reeling.
Do you think that she, once she saw that black men liked her?
Yes, culture vulture.
Do you think that she then started to adjust her body, her features, her style of dress to satisfy what she thought the black man would want? The big booty, the sexuality. Do you think?
But that's the thing.
That maybe she thought that that's what they liked.
That's a stereotype.
That's what I keep saying. She thought that's what they liked.
She thought that's what they. But now you see that a lot of young women are doing the same thing.
And that's what makes me so mad.
That's the problem.
Exactly. All these girls. I saw Nicki Minaj last night, and she
can't even move from the waist down.
I said, what is wrong with her body?
And I don't understand where all of this happened.
And then Black China.
It's crazy.
She looks. And do you think Okay.
Crazy.
Do you think that girls will look at Kylie Jenner having a baby at 18, 19 and think that that's cute?
Oh, there have been a lot of things that I've said about Kylie Jenner that people don't know. And it may have been me being petty, but when I said that Kylie Jenner still can't legally drink.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that.
People immediately thought, oh, did someone see her with a drink? And I was like, no. The thought process of that is that she is still
a baby.
She's
and
still,
I hated how they glorify her,
exactly,
like being a mom, and it's Kylie's first Mother's Day, like from Vogue, and I'm like,
and I mean that's likely the trajectory that our life is set because of these celebrities. And I even hate to talk about celebrities because we don't know these people.
We don't.
We are examining their lives and they're putting it out there for us to examine. So you put out there, you're gonna get what you get.
Okay, so if our grandmas and grandpas were having kids at a much younger age, younger than Kylie Jenner, do you think?
They were.
No, exactly. So do you think that she is in line with how culture or how life is, or do you think that we're too self-aware now for her to be acting like this?
No, because she has too much money. She has too much money.
And a lot of money, a billionaire.
And she is not, and let me say that she is not like the normal 21-year-old.
She's not 21.
Yeah, I think she's 21 now.
Kylie?
Yeah.
She can't be.
Yeah, I think she's 21 now.
Somebody hit your Googles.
Yeah.
Is Kylie Jenner 21 years old?
Let me know. Let us know, because I think she is.
My brother's comment right there is very inappropriate.
Travis Scott has a sorry pull-out game.
She's 20.
She still legally can't drink, folks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she can make a baby. You know what?
You know what? Anybody can make a baby, but that's why I said she has money. She has so much money where they don't look at the ramifications of how they are living their lives. They may be living their lives the way that they are. And that is not to say that they can't do what they want to do. But they need to make sure that they understand the responsibilities that come with the life in the limelight.
So let's talk about Kanye's kids before we get to the rapid fire questions. Do you think that his kids are going to grow up with some real deep issues?
No. I don't think that they're going to grow up with any issues. I think they're going to grow up in a bubble. And they're not going to, unless they have those experiences. Because I had experiences where I was outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So my mom urged me to travel because everything in Chicago was what it was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed. It's just gotten a little bit worse from when I was living there. But, and me saying a little bit worse, you see what's happening.
Yeah.
So my mom urged us to get outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
And that broadened our horizons to understand that there is a little bit more to the world. There's different cultures. There's different experiences.
Yeah.
And you see, and that's where you have to be a little bit empathetic to Kanye. That's why I don't call him crazy. I still think that he is a very smart man.
Oh, no, absolutely.
He's a very smart man.
Absolutely. I think so too.
I think that he needs to understand his avenue because he goes into fashion. Okay, what's your purpose?
What is your purpose?
Okay, I think that he's trying to find
his beige clothing line.
I think he's trying. I honestly think that Kanye is trying to find his purpose again. I really do. Yeah. All of the outlandish things that he's doing, like and people, I don't want to say he's crazy, but there were situations that happened before he went into the hospital and got liposuction and all this stuff. It happened when he was on the stage with Taylor Swift. It happened when he was
That's true.
Before on his concert going off on rants.
That's true.
This was probably the snowball.
She has a point.
This was the snowball. And people just all of a sudden want to think of it now as it being something crazy when there was evidence of
there were breadcrumbs leading up to this.
And that's why I don't think he's crazy because there was evidence of him needing help years ago.
Quick question before we get to this last part.
Yes.
So you are in say the word.
Interracial
marriage.
Yes, I am.
So one thing that I always discuss with my single girlfriends is dating outside of their race, because I feel like it's important for us not to get stuck in this whole like, no, I only date black men, because there's a lot of men out there.
There are.
And you know, you got to dip your toe in all the sauces. I don't know. Anyway. So what would be your advice for black women who are like hesitant to date outside their race? Because you're married. Like, you're not dating. You are like, here you go. Sign that paper.
I would say...
My husband.
I would say don't date outside of your race simply out of spite. Because
I thought you were going to say something else.
No.
Spite. What would you be spiteful of?
That black men are dating white women.
I was like, woohoo! Got it.
Don't date outside your race out of spite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's difficult to have a relationship with another human of a different race if you're always going to come back to, you know, if your trigger is a black man with a white woman. Like, you're always going to be comparing yourself to that woman.
Okay.
If your heart lies in dating black men.
So, wait. Oh.
Because you're going to find one.
Ooh. Oh.
But you're looking for the wrong one.
Oh, I hope y'all heard that. So basically what you're saying is just fall in love and date for the idea of love. Or for not even for the idea, but for the experience of love. And not get involved in the whole idea of this is a black man, this is a white man, this is a Latino
because
man,
I
this
will
is an
tell
Asian
you,
man.
I will tell you, obviously, I've been married for, what's 2018?
5 years.
And I mean, I could literally go back to my wedding day and remember everything.
And you know what? Her wedding was a very special time for my life, because literally 1 week after her wedding, I met
her minus one, because
minus one, but I wasn't going to invite him.
She wasn't
Sorry,
going
babe.
to.
I met my husband 1 week later, less than a week. I met him on a Thursday, and obviously she got married on a Saturday. 1 week, and then I went to Nulu Fest, and I saw her and her husband, and she saw my husband, who I didn't know was my husband, but she knew it was my husband.
I really did.
You felt it. I felt
really
it.
Did.
And
I really did.
We had been hanging out for a few hours.
And she was so cavalier about it.
Chill.
And it was either a Ninja Turtle shirt.
Oh, it was the Rocket Sock'em.
Or yes. And my husband
Yeah.
was like, oh, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. And I was like, okay, you want to play this off, Christy? We're just, okay, all right. Well.
Oh, I knew.
I'll be at the wedding. I'll be there.
And she was.
I mean, I literally, I genuinely knew.
Yeah, so
I did.
did
I knew that my husband would be my husband. So much so that I bought his wedding band 3 weeks after we were dating.
Aww.
Yep.
That's sweet.
Yep. I bought his wedding band in
Isn't that
August
funny
of
how you just
2011.
know?
Yep.
Like, that's when you know it's real.
You just know.
That's a good, yeah. Because we knew. Hey.
But I would say don't date out of spite.
Seriously and honestly, that's probably the smartest thing.
Because a lot of black women, they don't want to date outside their race.
They do not.
But they are so adamant about not understanding why anybody does.
And then they get caught up in the whole idea that, well, a white man or another man outside of a black man can't understand. And I got caught up in that because I was like, but I mean, now that I'm older, I can see like that you should just fall in love just for love. You shouldn't fall in love for and you know what's so funny about that is when I was growing up, I would always get mad at girls for saying I only date ...
Yep.
Interesting.
You can't only.
Don't only.
Don't only.
Do it all.
Do it all. Do it all.
Okay,
but I'll tell you, I have more in common with my husband than a lot, and we learn from each other every day. Never stop learning.
That's true.
Never stop learning.
Never stop learning, and never stop discovering new things about each other, because you're not going to be the same person every day. It's going to be something different.
Like there are intimate conversations, especially with the climate that's happening, the racial divide that we're seeing. There is numerous conversations that we have, those hard conversations that we have to have.
There are.
And I keep telling him, I'm like, you're raising a black son.
Oh my God. Everybody was so upset yesterday about Meghan Markle.
I don't know why. Stop.
I was like, I was just watching it for like the fashion and everything. And then somebody was like arguing on Facebook about her not being black or something. I was like, please. I mean, I didn't even notice it. Like, it wasn't even an issue. I just thought it was so loving and pretty.
But those are probably people that are unhappy.
And that's true too.
People troll all the time.
Which is very funny. That's why you can't take the bait. That's what makes me, and side note, that's what makes me so irritated with Cardi B.
Remain aloof.
Cardi B always getting mad at Cardi B. Call me, girl. We'll talk. Get your head right. Anyway. Rapid fire questions. Okay, so these are 5 questions that I'm going to ask everybody from now until that I think are fun questions.
I'm ready.
Short questions.
I'm ready.
But they'll make you think. This might not make you think, the first one. What's your favorite dessert? Wow. I mean,
I wouldn't.
Your favorite dessert? Dessert.
I love lemon cake.
Lemon cake with icing.
With buttercream icing.
Buttercream icing. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Lemon.
What was the best day of your life? What has been the best day of your life so far?
Well, there are a couple. Could do just one?
Just one.
Just one?
Just one.
The best day of my life was probably when I was born.
I'm about to walk out of my house. I didn't expect you to say that. Oh my God.
Hey.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
My neighbor's dog is outside. Hi, Lils. Okay. What is your favorite time of the day? See, she's a smart aleck, so I can't
My
even.
favorite time of the day.
I feel like she's gonna say something real ugly.
It's probably nap time.
I knew you could see. I thought you were gonna say when they go to school or something.
No, nap time.
Nap time.
Nap
Okay.
time.
What would be your dream job if you can do anything in the world without any limitations? What would you do?
Travel.
That's not a job.
That is a job.
No. I mean, would you work for like
I wouldn't
National
work for
Geographic?
anybody.
Oh, okay. She would just travel. How would you
I
make
would
an
travel.
income?
I don't have to. I told you, I don't live off money. I live off experiences.
This is gonna be very.
And since it's gonna be difficult, it might be difficult. No.
What do you think?
Okay. Nope. What was the question? Nope. I'm gonna do it.
What is your dream job? If
My
you had no
dream?
limitations.
If I had no limitations. But see, don't they say that if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life?
I mean, exactly. So if you could just, I would probably want to be like the editor of a magazine, and fashion magazine.
I would be a travel guide. I would go out and I would explore different places and tell people about those different places.
Okay.
So I would probably be something like the Travel Channel, where I could go and explore.
So it'd be on
different
TV?
areas. Yeah, it'd probably be on TV.
Good times. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. What is your favorite wardrobe staple? What is the one thing you can't live without in your wardrobe?
Girl, a good sweater. What?
Long sweater, short sweater?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Sweater.
It's just a sweater. I can wear a sweater at 90 degrees. Hence why I have a sweater on.
Shout out to Anthropologie.
Yes. But a nice, just throw, a comfy. I have to. This is like a security blanket.
I know. Me
It's
too.
like a
I love a
security
third
blanket.
piece.
Yep.
More layers, the better. That's why I
Yes.
love winter.
Yes.
That's why you like that, because you're from Chicago.
Yeah. I love a good sweater.
All right. Well, Jennifer, is there anything else that you want?
Hey, y'all.
Hi. Hey, girlfriend. So that was fun.
Yes, it was.
And very
I want to talk
informative.
more about R. Kelly and
Do you?
Kanye.
Do you really?
Yes.
Well, then let's talk more about...
And Bill Cosby.
So here's the thing. I need you all to know this. I can't talk about Bill Cosby because that was literally the time when me, my dad, and my brother would sit around and we would watch the Cosby Show, and that was like family time. We'd have our hamburger helper, our green beans, and our cornbread Jiffy, and we would just be like so happy and in love with our Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad. Let the record show, darling.
But okay. Bill.
Okay, Bill.
The situation that is happening with Bill Cosby.
Wait, before you say that, here's the funny thing about the Bill Cosby situation.
It's not funny.
No, funny and ironic is the fact that if he would have said something, if those women would have said something back in the 60s.
They did.
See, that's what's so funny to me about racism and race issues. Why wouldn't they automatically be like, black man messing up?
Okay.
Throw the book at him.
Here's why. And I did research. I really did. As much research as the internet will allow me to do. On the situation as it pertains to Bill Cosby. And there are some revelations that I don't think people have dove into quite significantly.
Okay.
Bill Cosby was in a situation where he could buy NBC.
Okay, I didn't know that. I did see that.
And in conjunction with that, this was when this was what, 2015? 2014 or 2015 when he was in talks to buy NBC.
Okay.
And Universal.
Okay.
Because
which is huge.
he would likely be the only to own a major network. So he was in a group that would own a major network.
Okay.
So this kind of exploded. What's that comedian? What's the comedian? Hannibal Buress. I don't think he's funny at all.
I don't either.
I think he's quite annoying.
And this is all his fault for ruining my childhood.
He didn't ruin nobody's childhood because Bill still did what he did.
I know.
Let's not take away from the fact that he did what he did.
He did what he did, but don't you feel like if a celebrity man in your influential young days, if a celebrity man came up to you and was like, and a good-looking celebrity man, because he was really attractive back in his hey day, if he was like,
he ain't my cup of tea.
And Jennifer, hey Cindy, if he was like, hey girl, why don't you come over here? I got all this money.
Let's discuss, because there was a settlement with the young lady.
Yeah.
And I think that this then became criminal. I think this then became criminal.
He is convicted. Because
people are comparing what's happening with Harvey Weinstein, what's happening with the Me Too movement and all of the men that have now been unearthed. But the difference,
Kevin Spacey might be dead.
The difference between those people, those individuals, and Bill Cosby has absolutely nothing to do with race.
What's the difference then?
Drugs.
Wait.
Drugs.
So is he the only one who...
Only one. People are still forgetting the fact that it became criminal when he gave them drugs. Although Quaaludes were popping and in the 70s, that doesn't mean that I want to take a Quaalude. You could have told me it was a Tylenol. And so I'm laying up there like...
So Kevin Spacey never drugged anybody?
No.
Matt Lauer never drugged anybody?
No. They just putting their penises out on desks and thinking that is appropriate.
Can you imagine if you were like...
I would chop it off.
Like... Here you go.
No, ew. I chop it off. I've kicked a man in the balls before.
You've punched a man in the face before.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Watch out, because this one right here.
I have. And you know what? I think that, I have.
You did.
Loser looking at like, what? Yes, I have.
But don't you feel like more women need to stand up to men anyway, point blank?
But I also think that these types of men
powerful,
prey
super
prey on the weak, and it's unfortunate.
Do you think that
really
45 is the same way? We're not going to go there. Okay. Because she just... I don't know if y'all could... see. We're not even going to talk about him.
You know what?
We're not...
The only...
We still live in Kentucky.
You know what? The only good that has really came from Donald Trump is that he has unearthed the ugly.
You know what though? Has he unearthed it? Because we always knew.
No.
I guess I've always known.
No, he has brought it to the forefront. Yes, black and brown people have known.
I was gonna say
they have known, but it has not been absorbed by everyone.
And nothing makes me happier than to see someone speak out against
Absolutely.
the injustices who is not of the black and brown persuasion. Because when people of a level head say something and they speak up, that really makes me feel like there's hope for humanity.
Absolutely.
Because
and Luther is right. It was there with 44.
Oh, it was really there.
And it was there with Barack Obama.
It was there in 93 with Slick Willie Bill.
And you know what? I think that, like, talking about politics is one of those things where you don't talk about sex, religion, or politics. Yeah. But there needs to be, those three need to be talked about. That is the actual problem.
Yeah.
It's because it wasn't necessarily that it was exposed under the Bill Clinton era, or it was exposed under George Bush, or it was truly exposed when Barack Obama got into office, only because I think that the attitude of the United States was that, oh, we've changed because, oh, we're no longer racist because there's a black man in office.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think that a lot of his policies for black and brown culture, he did a lot. Mm-hmm. But it was undermined by a lot of the House and the Senate, and he couldn't push more through because he was in survival mode.
Yeah.
He was always compromising.
And he was always really careful not to cross that angry black man line. He had to tread so lightly.
And I think that he treaded too lightly.
You think so?
I do.
You think he should have shook the table?
I think
you think he should have flipped it like the lady from Real Housewives of New Jersey?
Yep.
I mean, where would we be?
Because there's a lot of things that are being allowed to get away with that it just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Like why? Like literally, we have exposed Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was getting head in the Oval Office. Okay. We've exposed that, okay?
Yeah.
We've exposed the fact that Matt Lauer. We've exposed Harvey Weinstein. We've exposed Bill Cosby. We've exposed Aziz Ansari. He ain't hurt nobody.
What happened with that? He was on a date. Oh my God.
He was on a date, and that's where it gets super muddy. That's where it gets super muddy because Aziz Ansari was on a bad date. That woman had a bad date.
It gets super muddy with that.
That woman had a bad date.
But isn't that the same situation with Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby had no bad date.
So, but these girls were just hanging out with him. They were like, saying hey, Bill, you know, you're an attractive man.
If someone asks me,
they were willing participants. The only thing that went wrong,
no.
except they were drugged. I'm still trying. I'm fighting for you, Bill.
I think the willing participants didn't come forward. I think there were more women. But the willing participants didn't come forward.
I feel like there's a lot of women who are not coming out across the board when it comes to pro athletes and other R&B singers. Like, I am shocked that more women haven't come out.
No, because we just need to stop. Because I'm sure that pro athletes and the smart individuals have a non-disclosure.
Well, so did 45.
I'm sure he did.
And those women are like...
But those things expire.
They do.
They expire.
They do.
So
it's just wild, though. So,
the athletes are a different animal.
Why is that?
The women that come around athletes is just a different animal.
Because they're... I don't want to say they're... That. Never mind. I was going to say something really off-colored, but they are like really want it. Like they really want to be with these men, and they would do anything to get that fame and that fortune. That's
at what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost?
And that's sad.
That is sad.
Because we need to start realizing that we can actually get that money ourselves, and we don't need that level of a man to get us those big coins.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's like, you have to be a strong woman. Like, you have, and it goes back to why I think that a lot of these women are now coming out, because they feel empowered.
They do.
They feel empowered, but they were preyed upon. Yeah. They were preyed upon. And it's really, really super unfortunate. But I am really happy at the fact that they've found their power. But now, what are they going to do with it? What are we as women going to do with the power that we have now essentially?
I mean, what are we going to do with it? Well, I mean, that's exactly the best question.
Because we don't want our power to be lost or be silenced,
or for this just to be a moment. Like, this needs to be from now on. Here's the expectation. We won't accept anything less. Let's carry this forward and let all women get on board with this.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing. There's so many people who are willing to just let men do whatever they want because they don't have the esteem.
Because men are running the world into the ground.
Did you all hear that clearly? Because pipe up.
Yeah.
For what? I mean, it's true.
It goes back to the branches. Women have many branches on the tree. Men have two. And it extends to the radius of how far their arms reach.
So what do you think about religious people who feel like the man still runs the household? That's fine. Whatever the man wants, you follow him to church. He sits first. He eats first. Do you think all those rules are gone out the window?
I think that there is going to be a shift. And I think it comes with technology. I think that the shift is coming with this age.
But it's also a very American thing, because a lot of in other countries, sometimes there are women who are allowed to do more things.
I don't think so, because at least
in leadership. I mean, look at all these other countries that have women leaders.
I think these teenagers and I think these kids are getting it done. They're gonna get it done.
I wish it will take time.
It will take time.
Can you get it done before I start having kids?
This generation ain't gonna play. This generation is not gonna play.
Well, I will tell you, I'm a little worried because I had this
GMOs.
I had this girl come up to me and say, "I am so pretty," and I was feeling her confidence, but at the same time, I want your thought process about life and everything else to be deeper than your appearance.
You can't take that one young lady.
No. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I want it to be, because these other girls are out here. The work ethic of some of these people is BAD. So parents out there, get your kids on board. It ain't cute anymore to be like, it doesn't matter. It's just a part-time job. Like, start that work ethic thing out early.
My kids have responsibilities.
I was going to say, start them out young.
My kids understand what responsibilities are. And I think, and I'm not telling people how to parent, because you have your own kids, but the way that I run my household is that my kids are problem solvers. First and foremost.
That's cute.
They're problem solvers. Because you have to think that a lot of kids are book smart, but they can't think outside of a problem. They can't creatively solve a problem. They think it's one way, and if that one way isn't working, then there is no other option.
So you allow them to come up with multiple solutions.
I allow them to come up with multiple solutions.
And how do you facilitate that?
I facilitate. My daughter and now my son have known how to make their breakfast since they were 2.
But how do you guide them?
I make them do it. If they hungry, they gonna eat.
I mean,
I don't do everything for them.
That is the Mark Miles way of learning.
My husband Ryan says that I'm a little too hard on them, but me having the ability to be at home with them.
But you're not you're right, like, how are you going to figure it out?
Well, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they come to me and they say, "Mommy, I'm hungry." Okay, there's food in the kitchen. Do you know where the kitchen is? Yeah, I know where the kitchen is. There's food in the kitchen. What do you want? I've arranged our house where everything that my kids do, they can do themselves.
It is self-sufficient. The little stair steps thing.
It is. They are completely self-sufficient. Almost scary, but again, my kids were making their own breakfast when they were 2.5.
Like cereal.
Like.
I mean, not like toast.
No. Like oatmeal. Like they know how to operate a microwave. If they know how to operate Netflix, they know how to operate a microwave.
You know what? My little cousin's daughter was over here one day, and she hopped on that little tablet and turned on her little game and started playing, and I was like, well, wow.
And kids will live up to any expectation. You have to realize that. If you give them an expectation, if you tell them to do something, they will rise to the level of the expectation.
As long as they know that that's the expectation that you have.
As long as they know that that's the expectation that you have.
Because they don't want to let you down.
And they.
But what if they don't give a F about what you think?
Then they gonna starve.
So do you feel like teaching that or putting that in them now is going to make them into productive members of society?
Absolutely.
So what are you going to do once the mouth gets too much?
Whose mouth?
Look at her face.
But I mean,
why did her neck pop back? You all right? Nyla's and Dylan's. Is it Dylan?
Who is Dylan?
Not Dylan. What's his name?
Logan.
Sorry.
Dylon.
I was going to say Dylon.
Dylon.
Logan.
Yeah. So come again.
I mean, Nyla, she might get that talk back. What are you gonna do when she starts to, Mom? I don't want to.
And I think
do you think she'll ever get there?
Oh yeah. I think kids just in general try to push boundaries. At
like
every
that
age,
12,
at
13.
I think that kids push boundaries at every age. But it's about setting those standards now. Mm-hmm. I think, again, kids will rise to the level of expectation that you set. So if you're minimizing their abilities, then, like, if I'm hardly ever in a rush, because once I'm in the car, it just, wherever I'm trying to get to, I'll get there. Mm-hmm. But anytime before that, it takes on a mind of its own. Mm-hmm. Like, I can tell my kids 3 and 4 times to do something. It's not until I go into beast mode that then they do it, okay? But at a level, at certain teaching points, okay? So something so simple as oatmeal.
Okay.
So I show them, this is how you tear it, and then you pour it, and then I let them do something associated with the steps, okay? Mm-hmm. And so they may get the water, and then you put it in. I say, you put in the water. Okay, let's go to the microwave. Okay. I was like, do you want to put the bowl in, or do you want me to put the bowl in? And then they'll be like, I'll put the bowl in. So okay, I'll open it for you. He puts the bowl in. And I was like, do you know what number the 2 is? Yeah, 2's right there. Push 2. There it is. So now that's something so small that I've engaged them in the process. If I do everything for them, then they're not going to be engaged in the process of doing it. So if I tell them to go make oatmeal, they'll know how to do it, but they're not engaged in doing it. Like if I just tell them, hey, you pour the oatmeal in the bowl, then you put the water in the bowl, then you put it in the microwave, and then you press 2, that's not engaging them in the process. It's telling them what to do. And so I tend to always engage my children in processes, which then allows them to do it themselves. It's the same as buckling themselves
that's different
in the car.
than what I've seen.
That's them buckling themselves in the car. Hey, you put them together first. You put these 2 together, and then you push down. And then my kids, again, my 3-year-old is very articulate. He's like, Mommy, I can't do it. I'm like, yes, you can. You want me to do one and you do the other?
So you empower him.
Yeah. I was like, I'll do one, you do the other. And then I'll do the first one, and he sees how I do it, and then he tries to do it himself.
So what are you going to do when they get to the school age? How do you plan
Oh, now I was in school. I've called the school 5 times. Folks, JCPS, you know me. I've called the school 5 times already.
Why? I mean, I don't know. I don't know why parents call schools. I don't get it. Oh.
So, when I was growing up, when we were in school, your parents could likely go to the school, check out the classroom, possibly sit in the classroom, just to see. I didn't understand why my mom did that until I was a parent, until I was a mom.
Okay.
My mom was sitting in the classroom to make sure the teacher was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Oh, and that's something that is lacking in the school system.
And that is something that is lacking because
teachers are not.
The shift has caused parents not to be able to sit in the classroom.
Why?
You have to get permission because there was the shift where if the kid was having trouble in school, the parents would talk to the teacher and say, what can I do to help my child? Well, now, since these babies are having babies, the parents and the teacher are talking, but it's, what are you doing to my child? Not, what can I do to help my child? Because the teacher is not a babysitter. They're an extension of the learning process of the kid. Write that down. Write it on down. Write it on down.
So,
but 5 times people JCPS.
So
she
what
only
do you call
in kindergarten.
them for?
She only in kindergarten. And let me tell you, like, there was one kid on the bus that told my daughter to eat hand sanitizer. She wasn't gonna be her friend. I told Nyla that's not a friend that you want. 2, there was a little boy that bought a Nerf gun to school, and said he was gonna shoot her in the belly twice. That's me coming up there. The 3rd time, a little girl was licking Nyla on the bus.
Licking her?
Licking. Yeah, licking.
And she came home and told you?
Licking. Yeah, oh yeah. But she tells the bus driver, and the bus driver tells me, and then we just go and we talk about that. One time a little boy gave her $5 and said she was really cute.
What is Daddy doing at home? What is your father?
And it was funny. It's funny, but it's like, okay, what's happening where he's seeing that? He's only 5, and these kids are 5 and 6 years old. Like, what are they doing?
He was like, here you go, baby girl.
I'm not the one
buy
to
yourself
like,
something special.
Right. It's
something
like, ooh,
pretty.
girl, you cute. And Nyla come rushing on. This boy gave me $5. I was like, girl, you better give me that $5. Like, you don't take money from people that's telling you cute. Like,
oh no!
But it just like
you just created an Instagram model.
Oh my God! Like, what are we gonna deal with as they get older? Because it's, again, the teachers aren't babysitters. They're not parents. They're an extension of the learning process.
Hi, Ryan.
That was R. Kelly's son. See, and then Ryan just gonna come in and he just gonna act a donkey. I love you, boo.
Aww.
But it's just, you have to set expectations for your children, and that's all I do. Is set expectations. Again, Ryan thinks I'm too hard on him, but
Ryan.
I mean, my kids were potty trained before they were 2. They were walking before they were 1. They are very articulate and they bossy.
Okay, so do you think that's because you were able to take that time?
I'm no nonsense.
I mean, there are a lot of women who are just like work, and you're like, you take the time, even though you still do work, to put that energy into your children.
And I think that is one piece of it, because my mom was a single mom. My mom was a working mom, and I went to Big Mama's house. And you know what? Big Mama watched me and my sister, but Big Mama didn't take no mess. Big Mama was allowed to be an extension of my mother. Mm-hmm. So in the learning process, in that developmental stage of who I am as a human. So it's also about who you let watch your kids.
And TV shows shouldn't watch your children.
Absolutely not.
What do you think about the phenomenon of like kids being out with their moms and literally not engaging in their children because they're like this?
Like, that's one thing that Ron and I do. We try to, like, early on in us being parents, like, I made it a point to have Nyla sit down at restaurants and not act a donkey. Without like giving, electronics. Like, we
books?
really, but it was so hard though. It was
easy.
really hard because it's
easy.
so easy. Like, Ryan and I
totally
being new parents, we were like, you know what, we want to talk to each other.
So if she's engaged,
with this technology, then
you
we
all can have
talk.
your.
But you know what? It wasn't even about, like, we had to take a step back. And this is what I did. I don't know, like, the mindset. I just know that Ryan and I have a mutual understanding of, like, how and who we want our kids to be. Right?
I want my child to be Beyonce. I don't have a kid.
Okay. Who talking? Yeah, yes, Miss Karen. Yes, she is. She is a leader. She is on that Virgo cusp. She that Leo Virgo.
Not the Leo Virgo.
Yeah, she on that cusp. August 24th. Yes.
Anyway, so what was the mutual understanding that you wanted your children?
So
at dinner, you all would...
At dinner, like, I made it a point, and it's probably because I had the opportunity to spend time with her, because there are so many hours in a day. If you're working 8 to 5, and then you go home to your kids, maybe between 5:30 or 6 to 8, like, you're trying to facilitate a family. You're trying to get them dinner. You're trying to make sure that they're washed and clean, and you're trying to engage with. There's a lot of dynamics that are happening. And you know what? Favorite episode on Blackish,
which is my favorite show.
Favorite episode on Blackish. Yes, Angela. Agreed. The shift came when parents started having problems with the village discipline. Yes!
Oh, okay.
Let's clap. Because my mother, who was a single parent, again, she had an extension, which was my grandma, which was Big Mama, that when they watched us, they took on that element of being a parent. Because my mother allowed that to happen.
Okay, so
if my kid acts up here, you have the authority to handle that the way that you see fit. Not like how I would handle it, but the way that you see fit.
So what if they do it wrong? What if they do it in a way that you don't agree with?
Then the parent would tell them. The parent would discuss, this is how... Even
though that's your mom or that's your great-grandma, you still are going to be like...
Because there was never a time where anybody else whooped me except my mama. But
how do you feel about whoopings?
I know that even going into some other place that... if I were to do this at home, would I get whooped? So why am I going to try to do it here?
Good point.
Like, I'm not going to get whooped by somebody else.
So raising kids is more common sense.
It is. I wouldn't say common sense.
Okay, so is it a mixture between common sense and an awareness of what you want for your children's future?
It's a philosophy.
Okay.
Either you, so people go two different extremes. They go, the way I was raised, I would never raise my kid like that.
That's
true.
They
go one way, or I was raised this way and it worked for me and I'm great and I'm this, so this is how I'm going to try to structure my house and raise my kids. There has to be a blend, especially with the transition, because you have no idea how kids call it CPS now.
I mean, if I called CPS, Karen and Mark would be like, well, you can have them.
No, but like, I would never act a fool at somebody else's house, because I know that I'm not even allowed to act a fool that way, because if my mama gonna spank me, because if I'm acting a donkey at Big Mama house gonna tell my mama, and then I'm gonna get a spanking with my mama.
That's
so
true.
I'm just not gonna act a donkey.
That's true.
I'm just not gonna do it.
Because those repercussions are way worse. Way worse.
Yeah.
Mom would pinch.
So it was that fear. It was that like I turn my rings around.
Why? If y'all didn't get that, I'm not going to explain it.
I turn my rings around.
Not going to explain it to you.
I turn my rings around in public. Turn that around in public. But no, because there have been times where we've spanked, and it was hard, but it was one of those things that I don't think my mom spanked out of fear. I think that it was discipline, because parents meet that limit. They meet that limit.
So I watched this show, me and Luther did. It was on the Oprah Network, and it was a psychologist who talked about the reason why parents spank, and they were saying that the reason why parents spank is not because of the child, but it's because of the parent.
Interesting.
And she was saying that they spank. I mean, I think everybody in the world was raised, well, a good portion of us, especially in our community, were raised with the spanking with almost anything. And so, I always thought I would spank my kids if I had kids. But then this lady said that parents spank because a sense of control that they lost within their, in relation to their children and the reaction of what that child just did. So I don't know, because I don't have kids, but I know that I probably, being the control freak that I am, would probably snatch somebody up in a heartbeat. But I would also do it because I want them not to do something again.
See, I don't think it was a level of. I don't think spanking is about control, though.
Okay.
I genuinely think that it is about discipline.
Yeah.
Because as parents, we know the outside world.
Yeah.
And kids don't. Kids are carefree. They've not matured. So and there have been studies about how like spanking is trigger and spanking can produce violence and all this.
Wait a minute though,
stuff.
but you said something that was really, really, really interesting, because you said that you're being the parent and have lived this life. You know what this life entails. What if you're one of these sheltered people who don't really know about life?
Then you've probably never been spanked. No, I'm dead serious.
No, I mean, that was my point. That was my point in asking that question, because
you've probably never been
that
spanked.
is, I think about people who've never experienced certain things that we had to experience just because that's just the card that we were dealt.
As an adult, the relationship between the adult and the child is that you're not raising a child, you're raising an adult. Right? So, like, Ryan and I, we don't spank. But there is a level of understanding already in place that we don't do that. The look exists. The look exists.
I still see the look.
The look exists.
Karen. Mom be trying to get somebody to look, and I be like, lady, I am old. I'll spank you, Karen.
Is spanking the response when you've lost words for how to explain the situation? No. I think spanking is the last result of maybe a person that hasn't really dissected the situation.
It would be hard.
Well, because adults think, as adults of parents, like, we think we know everything, right?
I always think I know everything.
Well, no, like, when it comes to, like, this is my child.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think I know. So I'm molding this individual to
God.
essentially be an adult, right? Knowing that I'm already an adult. Okay, so spanking is just the last result, probably, of people who have no other way of thinking that they can solve the problem. I think that spanking also...
And it should always be the last result.
But I think that spanking also comes at a level of not understanding your child. And
understanding, because you have to cater, you have to cater the punishment to fit the child, to where the child will understand why they're doing this. Do you ever explain to your kids?
And this is why we don't spank, is because we explain. Okay. Nala will tell you right now, I talk too much. She will tell you right now, I talk way too much.
Look what Luther said.
But does violence beget violence? Hold that thought, Luther. But I would sit down when she's acting crazy and she's going off, and I said, okay, so what's the problem here? Like, why are you crying? I always ask why. Why are you crying? And then she'll think, well, because, well, no, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. So why are you crying? Like, what is it that you want that you're not getting that's allowing you to now cry? Because there's a chain reaction.
Why do you have this patience? Why do you think that is?
Oh, my kids.
No. Mm-hmm. You've had this patience. You've had to but, like, where does this patience come from inside of you that allows you to be able to parent?
I have absolutely no clue.
Is it a choice? It's a choice. It's the thing that you've chosen to do.
Yeah, I've chosen to be a parent, yes.
No, you've chosen to have this patience with your kids. Versus
because I don't want
alternative.
Right. Maybe because of the alternative.
Right. Because you have that sense of self-awareness in yourself that says, this is what I want for my child. Exactly. I want you all to see this. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to get it out of her. But that's what it is. You have to have an idea of how you want to parent and what you want your child to grow up and be like. And you have to be.
That's why I never have advice for any other parents. No.
Well, I mean, you may not have like
I have no
advice,
advice.
but your words might be helping someone else out there.
If they ask me a direct question.
I mean, just listening to this today might open someone's eyes to say,
Kids will rise to the level of your expectation.
That's advice.
That is
A statement and
I'm
advice.
not telling you how to raise your kid, but
It's a twofer. That was a twofer.
but kids rise. Kids surprise you too.
What Mom say?
A spanking is when we're in the grocery and your snows better and you go, Karen.
Turn that ring around.
Turn that ring around, Karen.
And Mom would not even, you ain't even got to turn the ring around. Mom would do that thing where she grabbed that back of the skin on your arms and she would pinch it real good. And you'd be like, you get that tear. Oh.
And it's interesting because I have a boy and a girl and I don't raise them any different.
Good. Because I hate that.
Because
they would,
my son is almost as emotional as Nyla, as my girl.
But I think that's the ticket, because I feel like a lot of men are highly emotional, but they suppress they suppress that emotion because that's what society tells them they're supposed to do, is to suppress that emotion. Then they are aggressive because they're fighting that, like, that sensitivity that you want to cry, but you're punching people in the face at the same time. Like,
well, but see, that's what I think that has everything to do with testosterone. Because my son cries while punching. That has everything to do with testosterone, like everything.
But I also feel like men as adults, when they get upset and they feel like they can't identify how to deal with those emotions. But I think
because no one has asked them to deal with the emotions as a kid. Like, I ask my son all the time, why are you crying? If you can literally express to me why you're crying, then do that.
But as a parent, you have to be clear thinking enough to ask that question.
Yeah.
Because a lot of parents don't. My dad used to always explain. He would try to explain why he was doing the things that he was doing for me and Mark as kids. But now that he's older, he turns around and he says, I didn't know how to put that into words. I didn't know how, because Dad was young and Mom was young. So they couldn't always articulate exactly what was in there, but they wanted something to happen. They were just like, and they get frustrated.
Yeah, and I think because it's frustrating. It is very frustrating. Yeah. I mean, parenting is hard.
Yeah.
Communicating
is hard.
Communication, yes. Effective communication. Because anybody can talk, but not everybody listens.
Solutions are always positives.
Yes.
Good solutions.
But I think that, at least for me, my parenting philosophy is that my kids are new to this. Yeah. They're new to this. So
They've never been here before.
They've never been here before.
Unless you believe in
reincarnation.
They're
trying to navigate it. What was I in my former life?
I believe that I had to have been rich. The way that I feel about, like, luxury, I promise you, I must have been a queen or something. I mean,
no, you just like nice things. Like, that's okay.
But it's like to what end? It's like to what end though? Because sometimes I just feel like I need it. Like, I love like luxury and clothes and furs and shoes and diamonds and rubies and emerald and expensive meals and G-Wagons and Maybachs.
You know what?
And yachts.
You know what?
And the Hamptons.
You know what?
Gold. It's really... So I feel like, yes, effective communicating.
Karen, why you ain't let her wear jellies all year long? My husband wore flip-flops all year long.
Oh, sure. I tried to wear my jellies in the wintertime. And with those plastic high heels. Clink, clink, clink. Honey. But Mom got me a fur when I was very, very, very little. And I kept it until, I grew out of it like this far. And I was just like, I don't care. But I feel like it's her fault because she would top knot me. And she would dress me up and put me in parades. And I'd always have like nails and candy cigarettes. And sorry, Mom. I was just I was playing her makeup.
Oh, did you get all your stuff from the corner store in the house?
Absolutely. She had candy necklace that turned my neck all the colors.
Oh,
and
I used to love the strawberry cookies that I used to get from the candy lady. Oh.
I never had a candy lady.
Oh, you never had a candy lady who had a basement and she had that walking taco where you get flaming hots and cheese and meat.
No, my family would never let me go in somebody's. No.
What?
No.
Oh, so where you buy your penny candy from?
That little candy store.
I bought mine from the
shop?
candy lady on the corner.
Get my press-on nails,
In
my
her
Bonnie
basement.
Bell.
In her basement, she had these strawberry sugar cookies for 2 cents.
Stop! It sounds so good right now. Oh, I could take a sugar cookie. Okay, so tonight's the Billboard Music Awards. Are you gonna watch them?
No.
Do people watch? I mean, I watch award shows with Twitter.
No, I don't. I don't watch award shows.
Why? They're so fun.
I just don't. I have no desire to really watch television.
Well, I don't really watch television, but I like to watch like events. Cause I don't have a show. I don't really record anything except for the royal wedding yesterday. Everything else.
Can we talk about why people was hating on
I think
Miss Rachel Meghan Markle?
What'd you call her?
Her name is Rachel.
I thought you said something else. No, yes, it is Rachel. Rachel Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Success, girl.
Did she get there? Or did she get there?
Duchess of Success.
I mean, it's a proud moment. I'm not gonna pretend.
It is. It's gorgeous.
But I think it's a proud
Nana
moment.
said, "Mommy, she looks like you."
Oh,
She did. She did.
That's sweet.
She did. She really did.
So my
Representation is
husband's
important.
niece messaged me yesterday, and she's like, "Did you watch the wedding?" And I was like, "Absolutely." I was like, "It was so beautiful." She's like, "Meghan is so gorgeous," and I said, "Baby girl, that could be you one day." She said, "That can be me one day," and I was like,
Yes.
"That's right, baby Grace. You better know it, sis." I want her to know these things, and you know, since I don't have kids, it's gonna be little cousins and
Are you gonna have
nieces
kids?
and nephews. Well, thank you guys.
Did I ask you a question, Miss Mama
Thanks,
Karen?
guys. Mama Karen is not interested. Girl, you told me in fifth grade graduation. I needed what, Mom? I needed a gown.
Oh my goodness, from JCPenney. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus.
Oh, always overdressed. I feel like don't leave the house if you're not going to be 100%. Why did she just turn the video on?
Because I just want to. I just
it's-
wanted to. Hey, there we go. There we go.
Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? What is
No.
this? Why is Mom making mad faces?
Love yourself. Know yourself. Be yourself.
Self-love. Self-love is something that is so important. And people think I'm crazy because I always talk about nails and toes and, exfoliating and moisturizing. I know my husband always feels like a slippery fish because I'm always like, you put lotion
That's your self-love.
lotion on,
You do-
and
yeah, do
oil.
whatever feeds your body.
That's my point. And that is my
Feeds
point.
you.
My point is you don't have to have lashes. You don't have to have a color polish. But if you want to clip your nails, clip your toenails, it doesn't have to be a pedicure. Do your own pedicures. Self-love. But just have the awareness that you should always come first.
And always discover. Like,
Always discover.
I would look and I would be like, oh, we have all these books in our house. Maybe I'll read. And then it's like, you know what? I don't read.
No.
So I'm not going to pretend that I want to read.
But I read articles.
I read magazines.
And I read magazines.
But I find that my self-love is DIY projects and being creative.
I feel like home is, you mean like in the
Hi, Miss
home?
Rachel.
Home or just in general?
Oh, I love just tinkering just with anything. Spray paints, painting.
I do
love
like
when my
that.
kids are creative. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that my husband goes along with my crazy ideas.
That's
like
very sweet.
yesterday, we just pulled out all the bushes in the front yard.
To replace them with what?
I have a diagram.
Okay. You have a plan though.
I have a plan.
Okay. You weren't just like, woo!
I have a plan. I have a plan.
Yes, plans are
Yeah,
good.
I have a plan. I've redone the walls of our bathroom 3 times.
Oh, that's why that's there, because
Yep.
we're about to paint the ceiling.
Yep. So, I have a
But it's always about improvement.
yeah.
And you know what though? You know what I was just talking to a girlfriend of mine. Black people that I know had their houses still look exactly the same as they did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm, that's why your property value. You're not
Okay.
gonna get out what you want.
But
from your house.
it's so
I'm a
crazy
realtor, by the way.
because it's crazy because she has like 45 hats.
I do.
It's crazy because people don't realize that your home should
It's an
be
extension
your,
of you.
Right,
Girl.
girl.
if you're not improving,
if you ain't improving your house, the way you look, your car, no.
Like I
ain't been vacuuming my car.
You know what? I always joke with Ryan that I want these done because I got 2 kids that kind of tanked them, and he always says, "Baby, you're beautiful."
Oh,
and you know
sweet.
What? I'm like,
yeah, you're still beautiful. But if you still were like, you know what, if it would help me feel good about myself,
but it would. Ain't nobody get.
You never know.
Ain't nobody get on their titties.
I'm good with my.
But like this
shelf.
I think that me is taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to take care of yourself. It starts with you, and then you being an extension of being happy is then gonna exude. You're gonna exude happiness, and that's why when people say, "Oh, you're so aloof," it's kind of like, well, I can be aloof, but it's like, how are you feeding my soul? Like, it's not that I need to get something out of you, but if I just enjoy your company, like, you're feeding my soul because you exude happiness.
You know who also said that?
Fun.
Kanye West.
I told you he ain't crazy. He ain't crazy.
It might be a Chicago thing.
No, Kanye West is not crazy. I repeat, he is not crazy.
She will repeat it, and you guys will listen to it.
I told you. Watch the video. He's not crazy.
No, he's been the way he is. And you know what? Real fast before we go. The thing that I did not know about his situation was that his mother was at home when she died.
Yes, because not everybody wants to know what exactly happened. It was the care that she received
from Kanye's cousin.
From the cousin.
Who had left the room. Mama had a situation. He wasn't there to see the situation.
That's why you don't mix business and family.
That's true. And on that note, I think that's all we got for this time. We might do this again. You never know. I mean, this was fun.
This was fun.
Well, I'm glad that
we can talk about pop culture.
That's my lane. I love pop culture. I'm talking about Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson, whatever his name is.
Trimester Tristan.
And she's like, we're going to make this work.
You know what? Good for her.
Okay, look. I think, I just feel like the same way with Kim altering her body and girls being like, me too.
No.
I feel like that's the same thing the girls are going to be like, oh, well, Khloe did it. So they're going to be like, well, my man got caught on camera cheating on me.
We don't know the ins and outs of their relationship.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just the way other people will perceive it and apply it to their lives. But I want people to be great and to be good. But
that goes back to the responsibility that they have.
Who?
The Kardashians or anybody in the limelight that has that big of a voice.
But then they say that they don't want to be role models. So then the responsibility is off.
Yeah. And they don't, I mean, if they don't want to be role models, who said that they're role models? I personally don't want Nyla to mimic
Kylie Jenner.
I don't.
Only financially.
She gonna get them papers. She gonna get that paper.
Coins.
She gonna get it. She has the attitude. She is a hustle. She drives. But I think that all comes back to self-love.
It does. You're absolutely right.
Does.
Okay. Well, I have to have some dinner. Can you believe it's like already 4:00?
What you cooking?
I think we're gonna grill out. Luther doesn't know it yet, but I think he's gonna warm up that grill and we're gonna make some turkey burgers and some turkey hot dogs.
I'm transitioning to
vegan. Yeah, no, I will never.
Yes,
I can't.
There are some very, 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 very good.
I'm not interested.
Good plant-based.
Maybe one day I might try it.
There is a mean Thai chili veggie burger. You would love it.
So she says.
You would love it.
On that note, we're out of here. And right. Poor Luther. It's always poor Luther.
Why is it poor Luther?
I don't know.
Luther, you're amazing. Bye.
Bye. See you next month.